Thanks. Ryan Day's first year coaching in the rivalry game, he was in here talking about, how he heard about it as a kid but didn't live it. What indications has he given you guys that he gets it, that he gets how big this rivalry is to the state of Ohio, Ohio State fans, that sort of thing?
I mean, I don't think it takes long for somebody to realize how big this game is. He being the head coach, I mean, it's obviously he knows what's about to come up. Personally, I didn't really know much about the rivalry either, being a kid from Indiana. But once you get here and you're here long enough, and he's been here obviously long enough, he really knows what this rivalry is all about.
What does he do? What indications does he give you in your day to day that makes you understand that he understands?
I wouldn't say any particular indications. Obviously, what we've carried on from last year to this year. As far as indications, they're just it's a different way of life. We know when this week comes up, we walk a little bit differently, we act a little bit differently, and we just know what's ahead of us. And he understands that. The whole team understands that. But as far as any particular indications, I mean, there's so many to the point where it's kind of hard to explain.
Tim?
Yeah, Pete, it's funny because you just brought it up. The three guys who've been up here so far are all from out of state.
Yeah.
Ryan's from New Hampshire, your coach. But what is it that you learn immediately when you get in one of these games? What is different about it? Players in the past have talked about the hitting's harder, more crisp. It's a cleaner game. I mean, what have you taken away from your experience?
Yeah, everything's different. But the big thing that strikes to me is preparation. You got to prepare harder than that team. You got to work harder than that team, and that all starts on practice, especially today, the start this week. But yeah, preparation. There's just so many things that take account to win this game, and we've beat them with preparation in the past, and that's what showed the outcome of the game.
And in a nutshell, what is the difference from a confidence standpoint for you guys defensively now compared to a year ago? Y'all are coming off that game at Maryland.
Yeah.
Everybody thought y'all figured it out, but you hadn't. But, I mean, now y'all are one of the top, maybe the top-rated defense in the country in a lot of respects. What is different out there now when you're playing from a confidence standpoint, et cetera?
I think that all the players are just confident in their game plan. We're just going out there confident with knowing what we're going to do to execute our job. And I think the results have shown, and that also boosts our confidence as well, knowing that we have results behind us to kind of show where we are, where we stand as defense.
Front row middle, Joey from the Dispatch.
Pete, in this game over the years, the team that usually wins the rushing battle has the edge in the game. So stopping the run, I guess, is even more important in this game. Why do you think that is, and what makes this game really important for stopping the run?
I just think that there's so much that goes into this game. Being physical, obviously, we all know from the past of this game, the most physical team is going to win this game. And when you think about physicality, offense and defense is about running the football. And if we've won that battle the past few years, and that's going to be a big game plan going in this week, is running the ball, being physical as possible.
Second row right, Tony?
Pete, what's your most distinct memory about this rivalry, on or off the field?
Memory. Well, it's all started in recruiting. When I was a recruit, I remember I was first row as a recruit, and I saw Curtis Samuel run that ball in the end zone. That kind of brought me here. I remember that was a crazy memory. And then being a freshman, being on kickoff, KOR, all those special teams, everything you do, everything contributes to being a part in this game. Everybody has a role, everybody has a job to take part in winning this game. And that's what it was for me freshman year, sophomore year. I got to play a little bit more and compete on the defensive side. But as far as a memory, I mean, there's so many things that take into account for this game. I just remember making a great play freshman year on kickoff, and then that just made me boost my confidence. And making a play in the end zone my sophomore year was really cool, having a PBU on that.
Front row right, Bill from the Dispatch.
You worked with Greg Madison and Al Washington probably the most of anybody because Greg works with you specifically. What impact have they had on you and the defense, and do you get a sense for how much this game means to them?
Oh, yeah, I can already tell. This is the game that they've had checked on their calendar for the time they've been here, and they have something to prove. But I've learned so much from them. They're one of the best coaches I've ever been around. I've learned so much. I feel like I've become so much a better player because of them too. But this game is going to mean a lot, and we're going to prepare harder than we ever have, and that starts with them. And a lot of it is going to come through them.
Can you give an example of something that they've done in your game, physically, mentally, whatever it may be, that's really made a difference?
I just think that communication, as far as communication, they've been more. They've talked to you more in the game, let you know like what keys you're seeing based off the opponent throughout the game. In years past, we didn't really have that communication, but we're always tied and connected through communication that I think has helped. As far as Coach Washington, he's a guy that motivates you super well, and you're always on the edge of your seat in meetings with him. But just that intensity with both of them has kind of changed over, and it's helped a lot.
Third row left, Dan from Werners.
Pete, is there anything Michigan does schematically, or if they're doing well on offense, that you guys see that is something you guys really need to do better or be on point at to make sure you can stop this offense?
I wouldn't say anything particular. They do well at what they do, though, and that just means that we need to prepare harder than we ever have. But that goes into every single game that we played this year. Somebody does something very well, and we got to do so, and we got to prepare to stop that, whatever they have. Anything in particular, no. But I respect their offense, and that just means we have to prepare a little bit better.
Front row left, Nathan from Cleveland.com.
It's just an extension of that. Shea Patterson, what stands out to you about the way he's playing right now?
Yeah, he's playing very well. He's one of those guys that's kind of tricky. He's got a lot of different options he can do. He scrambles very well, throws a great ball, and if you're catch lacking around, leave a guy open, he's going to make a play from it.
And right next door, Doug from Cleveland.com.
Did you say that the Curtis Samuel touchdown helped bring you here?
Oh, yeah, it was the factor. Yeah, I saw that, and I was like, whoa, are you kidding me? I got to come here. It was just one of those plays. I think I'm not the only one to say that, too. I was right next to a bunch of other recruits, and they were just like, wow, like this atmosphere. I remember talking to Urban Meyer after the game, and it sold me from there. He was like, wow, you see that play? Like, you see this game? I'm just like, yeah, I did. Yeah.
So there are so many guys now. It's so normal. There's so many guys from out of state, right? That there's so many of you that didn't necessarily grow up with this. But then when you're around it, you choose to be part of it. Is that what, like maybe you don't have it in your blood since you're 8 years old, but as soon as you get exposed, you think, I want to be part of that? Is that the deal?
I feel like growing up, I wasn't really a fan of any particular college sport. You could say like IU or whatever, but that just changes for everything. If I went to another school and I saw them perform well and I saw great tradition there, I would be in wow with that. But I came here and saw that, and I felt like they did it better than any other team in the country, and I was sold. So.
And just talking about Patterson again, they do some RPO stuff. Is that?
Yeah, I watched a little bit, but yeah, I'm pretty sure.
What's the key for you guys in defending that kind of stuff?
We got to continue what we're doing. We've done well defending that the whole year. We just got to keep doing what we're doing, just to improve a little bit better every day.
Front row right, Austin from Lettermen Row.
Pete, was Saturday the best you think you've played in your career here?
Best I've played in my career. I think it was up there. Yeah, I had a big challenge going into the game, and I felt like I executed pretty well. But yeah, I would say it's up there.
You referenced the PD last year in the game. You had a chance to do some of that again on Saturday. Those one-on-one matchups, what goes through your mind when you have those? What's allowed you to thrive in some of those scenarios?
Well, I see some formations. I know the ball is coming to me, so I'm kind of twitched up. I know it's coming. So I see those, and I try to take advantage of that. Try to make the best play I can. So they'll get some, I'll get some. But yeah, I kind of know it before. But it's just a great feeling. Like you have that opportunity to make a play. Let's go do it. So that's how I feel.
Over here to the right, Reiner from the Detroit Free Press.
How would you describe the impact that Chase has had, and have you seen teams or even quarterbacks kind of adjust and speed up the delivery?
Oh yeah, 100%. I feel like I hear quarterbacks talking in their head, "Oh, I got to get it out in a certain amount of seconds because I got him in front of me," and that's going to help me. That's going to help our whole defense because we have a threat like that in front of us. Chase leader on and off the field, but it's just great to have a good guy like that with the ability to put so much pressure on the quarterback.
Third row right, Aaron from MLive Media Group.
A few weeks ago, or a few minutes ago, you just said Al Washington and Greg Madison had this game checked on their calendar. I can understand Greg Madison, or Al Washington's perspective, given his ties to Ohio State, but why do you think Greg Madison takes this game so seriously?
I think they both take the game, all the coaches take the games equally amount of serious. You're talking about one of the best rivalry in all of sports. If I was a coach, I would take it very seriously too. Being a player, obviously just as much. But yeah, Coach Washington and Coach Madison, yeah, they take this game is, like I said, marked on their calendar. It's very serious to them.
Second row left, Steven from Cleveland.com. Last two questions.
Pete, along the lines of last week is Penn State. When you're, like, as the guy who's guarding tight ends in most of these games, I guess, like, what's the conversation when you're playing a team who uses the tight ends like Penn State does, or even Michigan does, or Atlantic does? What's the, like, is there a number of what, like, a good day looks like when you're defending a guy like that?
A number of
receptions versus, like, yards?
I wouldn't say there's a particular number. Just if you're playing as the best as you can and you limit them to a certain amount of plays or a certain amount of snaps or balls completed or anything in that sort, you consider that doing well or playing well, and that seemed like it was the case last week.
And final questions. Second row left, Bill from The Athletic.
Pete, the PBU you were talking about last year, where does that rank on your personal highlight reel, and what did it mean, especially at that juncture in the game, to make a play like that? Is that something that, I don't know, pushed you forward in your career at all, making that kind of play?
Yeah, it was definitely one of my top plays that I consider, especially at the time in the game. They were getting that momentum, having that play to stop that I think led them to a field goal or something. I'm pretty sure. It made me feel really good. Kind of boosted my confidence. Kind of boosted the motivation for the whole defensive side as they were gaining that momentum. But the highlight reel, I thought it was pretty cool at the time, especially when I hear the loud atmosphere behind me. It was a great feeling.
You sort of touched on this a little bit, but when teams, offenses line up in those 3-by-1 sets, and then the one side of the field is basically just you and the tight end, and you said you have a pretty good idea of what's coming.
Yeah.
Like, what's going through your mind in those situations? I don't know, like, do you feel pressure? Are you excited? Like, it's basically one-on-one. Sometimes you might have Jordan behind you, but you know, they're trying to isolate you, and you got to make a play.
Yeah, well, that 3-1-1 set, that's the only time it's happened the whole year. So the first time I ever saw that was in that game right there. So I walk out, I see it, and if somebody's isolating me, I know what's coming. But excited, something you could say that. I just know that I'm going to have to make a play here to help with the situation our defense is in.
Pete, let me ask one quickie. On that, before the Curtis Samuel run, did the refs get the spot right from your vantage point?
I don't know if I can have a comment on that, but the position I was in, they did get it right, yeah.
Pete, thank you very much.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe below to get the latest videos from Lettermen Row.
We got Letterman Live, we've got the practice report, we got rapid reaction. Hey, and you know we got Buckeye IQ with Zach Bourne.
For sure. We got recruiting breakdowns with Bern.